Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Welcome. This is exciting. It's so great to see everyone. For those that don't know, I'm Elizabeth Mazzara-Myers. I'm Executive Director at Westside Economic Alliance, and this is our annual Mayor's Forum. I'm really excited about today, so we can just clap right at the beginning. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Comcast is the primary sponsor for this forum, and they are committed to bringing you great information from all of these mayors, great opportunity to get to know folks. Please welcome me. I'm going to do an introduction first. Marion Haynes. Marion is the Vice President of External Affairs for Comcast in Oregon and Southwest Washington. She joined Comcast in 2018. In her role, she leads government affairs, external communications, and community investment. Welcome, Marion Haynes, who's going to say a few words, and then we'll have a video from Comcast.
Thank you so much. We're thrilled to be here today. This is always one of my favorite forums, getting to hear from all of the elected leadership in Washington County. So Comcast is thrilled once again to be back as the presenting sponsor. We are very much committed to the communities we serve, and we do have a short video, as Elizabeth said. I'll keep my comments brief, but that just really discusses our investment in upgrading and expanding our network and doing everything we can to bridge the digital divide. So I'll leave it there and let the video speak.
Hey everyone, I'm excited to tell you about Comcast Pacific Northwest region. We serve nearly 2.8 million residential and business customers, making Xfinity and Comcast business products and services available to more than 4 million locations in Oregon and Washington. We are also deeply committed to the Pacific Northwest, where our thousands of employees live, work, and support our communities. That is why I'm excited to share that this year we will invest $280 million to expand broadband and video services to many more homes and businesses, offer multi-gigabit internet speeds to over 4 million locations, and supply donations and in-kind services to communities throughout Oregon and Washington. To start, our investment will expand broadband service to approximately 60,000 more homes and businesses in the Pacific Northwest. As part of our investment, we're introducing fiber-rich network improvements that will deliver next-generation broadband with faster speeds, greater reliability, and lower latency. The first phase of network enhancements is happening now, and by year-end, we expect 40% of our network in Oregon and Washington to offer multi-gig internet speeds. Additionally, our investments this year will include cash donations and in-kind services to drive a positive impact in Oregon and Washington. Our work with nonprofit partners will aim to advance digital equity and promote diversity and inclusion. As Oregon and Washington's leading provider of media and technology, we connect people and businesses to resources and moments that matter.
Thank you to Comcast. So another couple thank yous to Espousal Strategies, Intel, and Northwest Natural for your sponsorships as well, and then to IBW48 and TriMet for your table sponsorship. So thank you for everyone coming on board today. And thank you, of course, to Legacy, our Forum Series sponsor. Thank you, Mayor Callaway. Okay, so I said 11 mayors, but we had a surprise entry. So Mayor Fender from King City is able to join us. So it's 12 mayors, 50 minutes, and 1 cowbell. So here's how it's gonna work. Question 1, everybody's gonna answer the same question. Then we'll score your quizzes. Question 2 is Mayor's Choice. And see, Mayor Callaway, I just didn't forget it, I promise. So question 2, you can answer whichever one you want. And then we're gonna do a 1-word question, which is what your boards are for. Okay, so we've got the microphones on the inside here. We'll go ahead and start ladies' choice. So we'll start with the Mayor Fender Beatty table. And we'll ask the first question, and then we'll go to this side and so on down. When we get to that end, we'll stop and come this way. Are you ready? Okay. Question 1, tell us about your top policy or project priority. I believe Mayor Fender is going first. I'm gonna have someone start the 2-minute timer. Let's get going.
All right, good morning, everyone. So I'm Jamie Fender. I am a litigating attorney at Black Helterline by day, and then the mayor of King City by night, right? So our top project right now is our expansion. In 2018, we were awarded a UBG expansion, and we are in the kind of hopefully the tail end of the process. We just went through our TSP public hearing, the first one. So we expect to get through our public hearings through the summer, and then we are looking forward to hopefully breaking ground on Kingston Terrace in the summer next year. That's our very lofty goal. King City will have a new city center down on kind of Roy Rogers, on the corner of Roy Rogers and Beef Bend, and I'm incredibly proud of our plan. We have been very thoughtful about interconnectivity, transportation, regional transportation, and kind of density. The plan has a very dense city center with commercial units at the ground level with residential on top, and we have been very thoughtful, in my opinion, about equity and inclusion and kind of a more progressive way to grow a city. So that is our big plan at the moment. After our expansion westbound, my next grand vision is to revitalize the strip mall along Highway 99. We desperately need some residential units along there and some better commercial spaces. So with that, I thank you all for being here. Yes.
You know, it makes sense that the guy with the cowbell is the one who produced the most BS over these mayor's forums in the last few years, and that does not count against my 2 minutes. So our Hillsboro's top priority is something that impacts and affects every one of our communities, and literally and honestly all of you as well, and that is seeing the implementation of the CHIPS Act. Specifically right now, our priority is making sure that we get the incentive package through the legislature. You know, what they are proposing now, what's in committee is harmful and, you know, frankly takes away the incentives that have made us the Silicon Forest and the ecosystem that we have. You know, it's important to remember that our incentives that we offer are incentives that reflect Oregon's values and priorities, which means then that the corporations that are attracted by those incentives also share our state's priorities and also our state's values. So when we start to remove those incentives, we start to lose those corporations that identify with us. And so that's just incredibly important as we move forward. And so that's my 2-minute answer.
Mayor Beatty.
All right. Good morning. I am Lacey Beatty, the very lucky mayor of Beaverton. I'll start with our number one policy, and that is addressing the crippling crisis of homelessness and housing affordability in the city. This is not something unique to Beaverton. However, just to understand our stats a little bit, rent has increased over $800 a month in the last 8 years. And in that same time period, homelessness has increased 36%. And so Portland is not the only city in our region experiencing homelessness. This is a region-wide issue that requires region-wide solutions. What you get from the mayors after this, we meet at noon, we talk about these things collectively together all the time because this can't be a city-by-city strategy. We are going to the legislature, we are begging them, and I don't see one of them in the room today. And as we talk about housing, what we need is them to trust mayors, trust cities to do the work that voters put us in office to do, which is creating thriving cities. However, we're the level of government held responsible for these problems, yet we have almost none of the solutions and monies and tools to deal with it on our own. Partnership is what you hear from me. It's what you hear from my colleagues at this table all the time. We need to do this work together. The biggest project we're excited about is our downtown loop. We have gotten $8 million of federal funding from Congresswoman Bonamici to attract this project. Thank you. She's the only one excited. I guess TriMet doesn't care about transportation. Okay, cool. We made your life a little easier. No problem. We are one of 3 cities that got a raised planning grant to plan this. We feel like we won the lottery. It's in our most diverse part of the city, where I'm going to use my board real quick. All right. where we have opened 41 restaurants. It's one of the most underserved areas from TriMet. It's one of our oldest areas in Beaverton, and we're gonna bring new life. Thank you.
And now Mayor Wenzel from Forest Grove.
Hi, thank you for coming today. My name's Melinda Wenzel, and I'm the newly elected mayor of Forest Grove. In my day job, I'm a middle school teacher. I've been doing that for the last 21 years. Thank you. I know it's interesting. I just did an assembly yesterday with 400 kids, and I was like, what? I feel like that's prepared me really well for my job as mayor. I'm going to talk about 2 economic priorities for the city of Forest Grove. So we are really residential heavy, and we've really focused on industrial development and growth. We have 3 potential projects right now, but our issue is if those projects go through, we have no more capacity. So really looking at the urban growth boundary and expanding that is something that's going to need to happen. Additionally, on a smaller level, but big to our community, is we have a historic downtown, which is really valuable, has a lot of character, and is easily walked to by most members of our community. So another area we're looking at is a Main Street program. We have a task force that has to go before council, but really bringing people locally, keeping them in Forest Grove to eat, to play, to thrive, and to have fun. So those are our 2 top economic priorities right now. Thank you.
Mayor Lube Tigard.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Heidi, and I'm the mayor of Tigard. I guess Heidi Lube. I'm just used to calling myself Heidi. Still getting used to the mayor title. I was started in January, and I'm just so proud to represent Tigard, and especially to be the first female mayor of Tigard. Thank you. It was incredible how much it meant to my community, and I realized that really after I was elected, the importance of those firsts, and certainly paving the way and not being the last. Tigard's strategic vision is to be an equitable community that's walkable, healthy, and accessible to everyone. So what does that mean when we put it into action? One of the things that's really important to me is the affordable housing at all different price points. I want you to be able to live and work in Tigard. And so we're really working through River Terrace 1.0, which is being built out, and recently River Terrace 2.0 to really contribute those housing units and multiple different types of housing units to our community. And as we're planning those communities, we're thinking about the other things, those living wage jobs, how we can attract businesses to our community to support people living and working in their community and using TriMet to get around to their businesses and to work and play. And also the amenities. I love Tigard. One of our goals is to have a trail or a park within a 10-minute walk of everyone's home. We're 66% there, and we're continuing to focus on areas that need that investment and need that outdoor space and that amenity. Also events. Events continue to build community, and we have a robust summer program. I think we all celebrate the lovely weather and really building the community to focus on that goal of building that equitable community. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Lenahan, North Plains.
All right. Thank you very much. My name is Terry Lenahan, Mayor of North Plains. I'm also the president of the Oregon Mayors Association. And thank you. And by day, I work for a financial industry, in the financial industry. So as many of you know, and if you don't, North Plains is the home of the Elephant Garlic Festival. We are a community that welcomes between 15 and 25,000 people to our community over a 3-day period. So it's August 10th, 11th, and 12th for any of folks out there putting things like that on your calendar. We're also not just a city on the Sunset Highway, we are city to the sunset. So our top priority currently is to ensure a fiscal and sustainable city, sustainable economic plan for the future of our the generations in our city. We have been analyzing our urban growth boundary expansion for the last 2.5 to 3 years. And I want to give a huge shout out to my city manager, Andy Varner, who has been extremely helpful, instrumental, and herding cats for the last 3 years to try to get this to the finish line. We have been working with community members, elected officials, obviously consultants, but more importantly, we have been working with local, regional, and state partners to try to get this to the finish line. We do not have any more land to put houses or businesses on, so that's why we're going for this UGB expansion. North Plains also is a workforce housing community. We have so many folks that live in our community that leave every day to work in all of my colleagues' cities. And I have to say that I am welcoming our diversity. We're really excited to have more people in our community, more ideas, and more cowbell. Thank you.
I am Stephanie Jones. I'm the mayor of the city of Banks. And last week I was in Dallas, Texas for the International Science and Engineering Fair with 30 students from around Oregon, because my day job is I run the state science fair. And we had some fabulous winners. Yeah, it's an awesome job, actually. And we had a top winner who is going to Stockholm next fall, because he won first place and he won a trip to Stockholm, Sweden. And he's a student who lives in Hillsborough but attends the Beaverton School District. So, props to everybody here. But in Banks, I just want to say we are getting ready for growth. We see it coming quite rapidly. We are preparing for it by making sure all of our master plans are up to date. We're also looking at our SDC rates to make sure that they match what our needs are. And I was going to save it for the next one, but since I still have not been cowbelled, we have water, and we know where more water is. That was our holdup for several years. So we're getting ready, and we see it happening in the next 5 years. I'd say we're going to be much bigger than we are now.
I'm Tim Rosner. I'm the mayor of Sherwood, and my day job, I do management consulting, but my real passion is I do a lot of volunteer work, also in the STEM arena, and I'm on the board of a great organization called Oregon Space Camp Adventures. So if you have a young budding astronaut in your family, please contact me afterwards. We can help you with that. So, and I want to mention, someone asked if this is bourbon or scotch. It's apple juice, for the record.
That was me who asked.
Yeah. So in terms of our priorities, there's so many priorities that we have. We have to walk and chew gum all the time. Sherwood is developed primarily as a residential community, which is a real challenge for us from a tax point of view. About 5 years ago, our city council really reversed course, and we said we're going to focus on economic development. And we've been doing a really good job of that. So mainly because of someone out there, Bruce Coleman over there, who does an amazing job for the city. But today, we only have 8% of our workforce that actually works in Sherwood, and that's a big problem. We have 9,000 people that leave our city to work every day. So we're trying to bring more jobs to the city, bring in more industrial land. That's a high priority for us because we are running out too. And I don't think we were as short as some of you, but we're getting pretty short on industrial land. So, but that work has been progressing. We got more work to do, but we've had some big wins that I wanted to point out. Lamb Research made a big investment in Sherwood recently. D.W. Fritz, NSI, and we just announced yesterday, Schnitzer Properties is doing a big project in our city for about 1 million square feet of industrial manufacturing space, which is amazing. So we're really happy about that. But in terms of the overall priorities, it's really about creating a livable community that's safe, with great schools, with infrastructure that's well maintained, and an economic development path is going to make sure that we have those jobs to support all the housing that we need to get into. So thank you.
Mayor Bielostowski, Westland.
Thank you. Good
Did
morning.
I say it right?
Yeah, you got it.
Ta-da.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Rory Bielostowski, the mayor of Westland. Just thank you, Mayor Callaway. Just got elected last Tuesday of last week on the 16th, so I'm a little new. I've been serving as interim mayor since January. I went to Lewis and Clark College, graduated last year in 2022 with a degree in international affairs, and have been a lifelong resident of Westland since about 2005. Before that, I lived in Hillsborough. Couple of priorities for the city. We have a lot, so it's kind of hard to distill it down to one or two. We're working on a fun vision plan for our waterfront area from the Arts Bridge that goes from Oregon City to Westland, south to kind of the Willamette Park area. We're going to be going through a community process to look at the zoning in the area and kind of determine what does the community want the riverfront to look like, because right now it's undeveloped. So we have our first urban renewal district in the area. We won't bother to try to explain that at 7:30 in the morning, but that's kind of an infrastructure tool to fund road improvements and things to go to the area along the riverfront. So then we want to see, what kind of zoning do we want? Do we want parks, mixed use, a special zone for the area? Because I think we really have the opportunity. It could be a special place for the city and the region, because it's right along the river with the Willamette Falls right there. We're going to be working with PGE, neighborhoods, and things like that to accomplish a vision that everybody can get behind. And then doing the same thing for Highway 43, which is a major corridor through West Lynn. Not really in the condition that people want it. The pavement's not good, and things like that. So trying to see, do we want to do even another urban renewal district there to improve the area, and then building a rec center, building a community rec center, something that's important too, for it to have space for youth and families to go and play indoor pickleball, maybe. That's been a big problem in West Lynn. The noise, I'm sure everybody can relate. So thank you.
Thank you. And is it Mayor Delane? Yeah.
Good morning. Jeff Delane, Mayor of Cornelius. Been doing that now for about 12 years. When I'm not spending time at the local mill, Intel, as a consulting engineer, I spend my time with the city or with my scout community. So that's kind of fills up my days, my nights, and my weekends. So top priorities for Cornelius, like everybody, we have more than one, but we'll choose one and try to focus on it this morning. And it's a common theme: urban growth boundary expansion for industrial and housing. We are basically pinned in again. Any of you who've heard me here before have heard me sing this story before. We got a 20-year expansion about 10 years ago. Guess what? It's full. Our recent addition of industrial business has finally filled up our industrial area. So now we're looking for more industrial. And like so many others here, I have 14,000 people in my community, about 53% Hispanic. 6,000 of those have to go somewhere else every day for work. With an average commute of 29 minutes, it can be all the way across the Tri-County region. That's a little bit about the business side. On the residential, we've finished about 700 of the 900 homes in our Laurel Woods development. Yeah. JC's like, wow, man. Yeah, we've had a 13% growth in Cornelius over the last few years. So we're one of the fastest growing cities. The developers in that area are continuing to invest there because that growth rate continued all the way through the pandemic and has not slowed down. So we need land, but we are pinned in. Probably the other one I'd want to hit, long as we're talking about fun topics. We're working now with the Forest Grove School District to make purchase of the historic Cornelius Elementary Gymnasium, cafeteria, and small office space. Thank you, Pete.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Frank Bumick, the mayor of Tualatin, by day an IT professional. In Tualatin, the city council decided not to wait for the state or the feds to help us out with our problems. So we've made a concerted effort to improve our community with bonds and working with our residents. Two recent examples of that is in 2018, we passed a Tualatin Moving Forward bond, which provided funds for reducing congestion in Tualatin and improving pedestrian safety. We have 24 projects done to date. We have 12 in the queue for this year. The biggest one being the restriping of Tualatin-Sherwood Road between Martinazzi and I-5. Our engineers say with those improvements, you'll be able to get to I-5 faster by 4 to 8 minutes because of the improvements that they're going to do there. The second big program we're doing right now to improve Tualatin is just recently in November, we passed our parks bond, and that's another $25 million project. They'll improve our trails, our sports fields, add additional parks, and actually have genuine, really nice access to the Tualatin River. It's really tough to find a Tualatin River in Tualatin, but we're going to make sure it's an ideal location now right there in the river that folks can launch their kayaks and do all kinds of fun things on the Tualatin River. And we have also bought two more parks, two more locations for parks down in our Basalt Creek area. So we're improving access to our natural areas with our bond. So in short, we're going to drop about $50 million to make Tualatin a more ideal place to live, work, and play to our residents and businesses.
So for each mayor was given the this or that question, and they picked, I forget which ones we ended up with, but texting or calling, and each one decided how they were going to answer. Do they prefer texting or calling? So while this is a fun activity, it's also hopefully going to give you a little insight into who these mayors are and how they work. Okay. Now, there is a prize attached to this, so, be honest. Your neighbors are watching. So, Beatty, I will say the answer was, the staff said very close, Mayor Fender's answering now. The staff told us it was a toss-up. For West Lynn, it was texting, Bubenick calling, Callaway texting, Jones texting, Lenahan texting, Lube, Rosner, and Wenzel. Oh, calling, texting. I got it backwards. All right, so score your sheets yourself, and we're gonna move on. All right, so the next question was dawn or dusk? What do you prefer, dawn or dusk? Much to my husband's chagrin, I'm a very early morning person, so I am a dawn for sure. We got some dusk. Okay, watch or play sports. Uh-oh. Watch or play sports. So here we go. No surprise, Mayor Beatty. Bubenick, we got a lot of watching. Mayor Lube, what's the sport you like to play? I guess triathlon. Wow. So less playing and more competing. Okay. All right. All right. Wesleyan Bielosowski, what's your sport that you watch? Golf. Okay. Good. All right. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to ask this question. We're going to use your boards because I didn't get the slides correct. You're welcome. So pizza or taco? Pizza or taco? Write your answer. Hold it up. That's what we call a pivot. Pizza or taco? Score your sheets, folks. Pizza. And why do we start down at Bubenick? What do we have? Pizza? Okay. Taco pizza, see what I mean? Do you understand what I have to deal with? Yeah, okay. Oh wait, do we have another? Oh, taco. Lots of tacos. Okay, so go ahead and hand those in. We'll see who got the most correct, and we have some gift cards for the winners. Did anybody get a bingo? Did anybody get them all right? Did anybody actually fill out your quiz sheets? Okay, we're gonna move on now to the next question. So the mayors had the choice of 3 questions, and now they have a chance to pick which one they would like to answer. We're gonna start at the outsides this time and move in. So why don't we start with Mayor Bubenick?
I'm gonna do question 2A. Something you don't know about Tualatin. Right now, our public works people are scrambling to apply for the CFI grant, the Community Charging and Fueling Infrastructure money. We're looking to get $15 million to provide charging stations along Tualatin Sherwood Road and our public areas, parks, and we're working with Fourth and PGE on this effort. We've also got agreements with the cities of Tigard and Sherwood to work in conjunction. So ideally, we'll have a nice corridor between the 3 cities of charging stations available to the public 24/7 to help improve access to electric vehicles, with a special emphasis on trying to figure out how to provide charging stations in multifamily environment. It's a challenge for PGE. It's something we want to do and give access to those people who are renting in apartments the ability to have an electric vehicle, just like people in single-family homes have. So applications are due by the end of the month, and hopefully we'll win one of them because we figured this is the best time to do it because competition is less, because the feds didn't give cities a lot of time to apply for this. So we're hoping we'll win one of these.
Thank you.
Which question are you answering?
I'll answer the same one that Mayor Bubenick answered, which is what's something WA members should know about your city we might not already know. A couple things. One, we just completed the revitalization of our Main Street area in downtown West Lynn in our historic district in Willamette. So we have like widened sidewalks, cycle tracks, and expanded areas for people to have outdoor dining at the restaurant. So that's been really cool. So if you haven't seen the area in the last few years, you should come to West Lynn, to our Main Street in Willamette or Willamette Falls Drive, because it's really cool and accessible and fun to go down there, and just a great community space where it's packed every night, especially when the weather gets nicer in the summer. Really awesome. And then on that topic, we have a farmers market or summer market every Wednesday in the afternoon. So that's something that brings a lot of people to the area. There's, I think, record number of vendors, like 70 booths that go. So it's really fun to walk around and shop and do that. So that would really be the thing I would tell. I mean, there's another issue with our water line on 205, which is kind of a serious policy issue that I'll share too, just to raise awareness. As part of the I-205 project going on Abernathy Bridge, the seismic upgrade, which we support, the city's had to replace our main drinking water pipeline, even though it's not required at this point based on the life. So we have 20 to 30 years of life left with the water line at this time, but we have to replace it. And the cost is $14 million, and we have to bear the cost of that. So we've had to cancel a lot of maintenance projects, and we're asking the state and federal government for help to split the cost to be able to keep providing water to the city residents. So it's a pretty serious issue, and we're working in the legislature on that and in the Congress. So just wanted to raise awareness on that topic too, because it's a pretty serious impact of the 205 project that's not really known very well unless you're intimately involved with West Lynn. So thank you.
Thank you. Mayor DeLynn.
I'll take the magic wand one for 200 if I can, please. Ours would be a SIP, a strategic investment program. It's actually two parts. The strategic investment program for job creators, so we could help incentivize and attract. And the other part, as I spoke to in the first answer, was about the land. I need the ability to add willing partners to our community for industrial and housing. We have over 500 acres north of town with willing and interested people that we can't annex or join with because of our current inequities in our land use plans in Oregon. So that would be the magic wand, an ability to actually add willing partners. No city should be forced to annex, especially if you don't have the water, the sewer, the power to support it, which we do on our over 500 acres, and the strategic investment program. Those would be the two.
I'm going to pick on 2C, a business for my community. We have Easy Peasy Eats that opened just within this last year, and it's in one of our older buildings, and it has the best bathroom in Banks. Which you think is funny, but it's like they have there's a bicycle in the bathroom as part of the decor, which matches quite well with our whole, Banks Vernonia Trail. So it's well worth the visit. They have fabulous, fabulous hamburgers and all sorts of other lovely things. And the couple that owns it, actually, they start out catering out of North Plains. So I like highlighting all these people that I've stolen from other cities.
All right. So I chose question, I guess it's 2B, and the magic wand question. But I have a question first. Does anyone have the magic wand? Because if you have it, I'm speaking directly to you. So, in terms of magic wand, it's, we talked about this in the city, what new programs out there. The SIP program's great, getting some action on that. But I think what we talked about is we really need a program like a state industrial bank, a source of funding for cities to make industrial land ready. That's a big problem. Even within our Tonquin employment area, which is very difficult to develop because it's a lot of bedrock, having the funds to go in and make that land industrial ready is really, really important. Some other states are doing a great job at that. Ohio, for instance, has an industrial land bank, probably a big reason they got Intel to invest in them. Arizona is also doing a great job. So I'd love for our state to look at those programs and see if there's something we can do here in Oregon to make that a priority. And that's it. So I'm still a little bit afraid of the cowbell. So
Thank you. So I will do 2A, which will sprinkle in a little bit of 2C, because what elected official can follow a rule? What I want you to know is Tigard is open for business. I have been in the incredible circumstance in which I have been invited to more ribbon cuttings and grand openings lately than I have time for, which is incredible to be able to say. I want to highlight a couple of those recently. One is we opened our Universal Plaza in our Main Street downtown area. Yeah, it's an incredible community space. Thank you. So it's a community gathering space, a destination, and a draw to our Main Street. And Main Street over the last several years has been undergoing revitalization efforts with the help of our Urban Renewal District. And it's really changed the face of our downtown and the way that the community gathers in that space. While having the plaza itself is amazing, it's also home to our Sunday Farmers Market and our launch pods. The launch pods are year-round food carts that are owned by the city, which assist entrepreneurs in reducing startup barriers and providing business support network. So we have 2 food carts in our plaza that are open year-round, and they're delicious and a wonderful opportunity to help our businesses get launched. The other business I want to talk about in grand opening is El Jefe Mexican Grill. El Jefe is listed as one of the outstanding taco spots in Greater Portland, hence the taco answer earlier. And it started as a food cart in Beaverton. Sorry, Lacey Beatty. We're still in Beaverton. Yes, but they chose to put down roots in Tigard. I'm going to pay for that later. So they're off of 99W in Tigard, and they're in the Tigard Triangle. So that, again, is their first brick and mortar location. And we were able to help them with a $50,000 business grant from our Opportunity Fund from our Urban Renewal District. This is the way that our urban renewal is really working for our city. Their specialty is charcoal grilled chicken, and it's delicious. Come visit.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to choose 2A, something that the members do not know about our city. So North Plains, currently we have a residential tax base of about 85% and commercial industrial 15%. So we're really lopsided. And as I talked about earlier in my top priority, creating a sustainable environment is still our number one goal. And to be able to look at that tax base and try to balance that tax base over the next 20 years is extremely important to us. Our city surveys from our residents, they say they want restaurants, a grocery store, places to hang out, and coffee shops and things like that. And while we are working on that, we are actually working with a developer who happens to be a WEA member on our Glencoe Opportunity area, which is the area off of Glencoe that will house a grocery store and a collective of other shops and, like a winery and tap house and coffee shop and things like that. So one thing that we're working with our locals in trying to attract local, maybe mom and pops into brick and mortars is the tenant improvement program. It's a grant through our Urban Renewal District, and it will help businesses that are focused on food and beverage, about a $50,000 grant to have them come in, and it helps them with the renovations that they might need. So we already have 2 businesses who have taken advantage of that grant program, and we're looking to really trying to get and encourage other people to take advantage of that as well. So thank you. Under 2 minutes. Woo-hoo.
What you don't know about Beaverton, it only costs $50,000 to steal one of our great ideas. So I'm going to answer 2A and 2C. What magic wand would I want to solve some of our problems? As a mom of a 7-week-old and a 5-week-old, childcare. This is one of our biggest issues, and this isn't our issue to solve. I invite every single person in this room to think about how we're going to support working families in a meaningful way. They are my husband, the state's Army recruiting officer. They're the mayors. They're your everyday, everyone is facing childcare issues. We need the state involved, and unlike Sherwood and Tualatin, Beaverton can't go at it alone. We need help, and this is an issue of our time if we want working families to succeed in our community. And I'm going to give you a $50,000 lead on 2 awesome businesses in the city of Beaverton. So go ahead, write the check here. We have two of our 41 restaurants. Lionheart Coffee is in the middle of our downtown. They are one of the most altruistic coffee companies we have ever seen. When the pandemic hit, they shut their door and started making bagged lunches for anyone in our community that needed them. School-age kids, our houseless community. They have the heart of our community. Our second one is Family Cafe. Family Cafe was started by Iraqi refugees. He was once the mayor of Baghdad. So if you want to go see the other mayor of Beaverton, hop into Family Cafe. It is the epicenter of our Muslim community in Beaverton, and they serve amazing, I am Greek, we do not call it Turkish coffee, we call it Greek coffee. So go ahead and tell the mayor I sent you.
I'm going to answer 2A. We'll see how much time I have, if I can squeeze anything else in. So one thing I would like all of you to know, I question if Steve Calloway knew this at the MMC meeting in February, but if the city of Forest Grove is a full service city and has its own light and power utility. So what that means is a full service electric utility. It's been around since 1895. It is the 3rd oldest municipal electrical utility in Oregon. So I think that gives a lot of flexibility in working with businesses. Our city offers very competitive power rates, a commercial and industrial energy conservation program, and renewable energy products. We are working closely with developers to anticipate the power needs and bring those projects and jobs to the city of Forest Grove. Again, I hope that this allows us to be more flexible in working with development. And on an aside, our power is hydroelectric, which reduces our carbon footprint. So those are some things I wish that everyone knew about the city of Forest Grove.
All right. I also am going to answer 2A. And really what I want everyone to know about the city of King City is really our demographics, right? I think I am constantly fighting against this image of King City that we are only a retirement community. And while we cherish and honor our historical past of, certainly that was true at one time, our city of our almost 5,300 residents are almost about half kind of young families with young children. We have an elementary school, and the demographics have been changing and are very quickly changing. Last year, we were the 3rd fastest growing city in Oregon, and a lot of that has to do with our affordable kind of community that caters to young families. The other component of our demographics, which a lot of people don't know, is we have a very high percentage of veterans. And when I say that, most people know, or maybe you don't know, but King City is a Purple Heart city. And obviously we have a large portion of kind of our Vietnam era and older veterans, certainly. However, we also have an extremely large population of younger veterans from the War on Terror. And candidly, we do not do enough to support our younger veterans, right? Our older service members and veterans, right, have a lot of community organizations, but our younger veterans just aren't participating in those, right? They don't join the VFW or or the Legions or any of those organizations. So anyway, that is what I want you to know. We are a city of all ages, and like Tigard, we are also open for business. Thank you.
So it says mayor's choice, 2-minute answers. So I'm just going to choose to answer all 3. The one thing that, Hillsborough is a full service city with the exception of power. Okay, but everything else, so we're not. Okay, so we're almost. Let me start over. Someday Hillsborough wants to be like Forest Grove. But one of the things, that you all are experiencing in your businesses, cities across the state are experiencing, Hillsborough's no different, and that is workforce shortage. And so one of the things that we are doing in Hillsborough is we have started an internship program where we are training water operators. And we are doing this so that, we can reflect our values and make our workforce look more like our community. We are doing it so that we can implement our values of supporting our veterans. And we have 2 individuals who are now in that program. It's a 1-year internship. But what's different than most internships is it's fully paid and you have benefits. And so you don't have to take a pay cut, especially if you have a family. You don't have to leave, a full-time job in order to see if this is something that you would like. So that's something that Hillsborough is doing, and we're really proud of that because of, just how it sets us up for the future. And one other thing that I do want to compliment all of my mayors on, and this was the 3rd question to D, which just got cut off that slide, but there really isn't a 2D. But one of the things I've learned this year as president of the League of Oregon Cities, traveling around the state, and it's also true up here, and that is I have learned that some of the smartest mayors come from the smallest cities. And, they have to do the same thing I do, but they have to do it with fewer staff and fewer resources. And so I know that big cities get a lot of attention, but I just want to give a shout out and a compliment to all of the smaller city mayors because they do remarkable, remarkable work, and they really are the fabric that holds us all together.
Well, thank you for that. So before we move on to our 1-word question, I just want to reflect back some of the themes. So if I had a word cloud, here's some of the things that I've heard, and I don't think any of these are a surprise. Industrial land, UGB growth, a well-trained, well-paid workforce because we need a strong tax base, housing, healthy community. I heard walkability, restaurants, equity. It's amazing and not amazing that the theme is the same. This is what WA cares about because this is what the West Side cares about. So I just want to thank everyone for coming today. We're not quite done. 1 more question. So 1 word. So this is what your boards are for. And I'm going to ask you all to write it and hold it up so we know you're not cheating as other folks have a chance to talk about it. You know who I'm looking at. All right. The question is, describe the West Side in 1 word. Okay. When you've got yours ready, we're still thinking 1 word. And I'll have, I've asked this question a couple of times. So if you've been to some of these forums, this is a question I'm going to keep asking. So if you ever see 1 word, you know what's coming. But I think it's really interesting. And I think it tells us sort of a sense of how people are feeling about where we live. Okay, are we ready? I see Mayor Callaway is finally writing something. Okay, go ahead and hold up your boards. And I can't see them, so why don't we just start down with Tualatin and just tell us what you wrote. Connected. Diverse. Engine. I thought it said Eugene, and I thought that was a weird choice. Engine, okay. Lynn. Diverse. I said perfect.
Once again, Forest Grove is better than Hillsborough. I just said well-positioned.
Well-positioned.
Vibrant. Nice. My chief of staff texted and said, "Don't say rad."
Growing. Awesome. Well, look, we're going to do what I like to do, which is we're not going to keep talking up here. We're going to end 5 minutes early so that the mayors can get another photo. So you have time to talk with them. We always try to let you out by 9 o'clock. I cannot believe I had 12 electeds up here, and we stayed on time. That's truly a miracle. That's my 1 word, miracle. I think it was the cowbell. Thank you all for coming. This was such fun to plan. We did a lot of prep meetings in advance, and so it was a lot of fun to get to know the mayors better. Before I wrap up, a couple final messages. Please complete the survey. So let us know how we're doing. You notice we did a different kind of breakfast today, and we're looking at healthy and sustainable practices and trying to adopt what that looks like. So we're trying new things. Let us know what you think about it. So like and share and comment on social media, #JoinWEA, #The West Side. Thank you again to Legacy Health, Comcast, Espousal Strategies, Intel, Northwest Natural, TriMet, and IBW 48, as well as PGE. So thank you again to our amazing sponsors. And finally, we have someone special in the audience who's getting ready to retire. So if Kelly Ross could come on up. For those of you that don't know, Kelly Ross is a stalwart of the West Side. Yes, we can applaud for him. in getting ready for this, I noted that he, back in 1980, was elected as the youngest county commissioner in Oregon when you were 24. Which county? Curry County. Kelly has been, from the Grand Bargain to his work with NAIOP to his membership here at WA, he really has been sort of emblematic of what's good with the West Side. He knows how to collaborate. He knows how to coordinate. He knows how to negotiate. So just want to thank you for all you've done and happy retirement. And thank you, Kelly. Okay, everyone, that's the show. So please stay, chat with the mayors. And mayors, if we could get one more photo over here before Westland has to go. Thanks, everyone.